How to respond when he finally texts you back. I didn't think I would ever hear from him again, ever again, but he finally texted me after 3 days. What should I do? This is a question which many women face. However, few of them have an honest answer as to what to do in a situation like this. I know that you've been thinking a lot about him, but it's crucial that you stay patient and wait. Every guy comes back one way or another. Even if you were the one who got ghosted, the man will likely try to win you back after a certain amount of time. This happens because many guys regret leaving the woman in the first place. They realize that what they had was more valuable than having casual flings, and they'll try everything they can to get her back. So, you shouldn't be surprised if your man ghosts you for a while and then decides to send a text message. That's just how his mind works. Generally, men need more time and space to figure out what they truly want in life, so that could be the reason why he waited a few days to text you. Or it could be that he realized that his life is meaningless without you and he decided to come back after all. Okay, he made a move and he finally texted me after 3 days. What should I do? It's difficult to know whether or not replying to his text message will prove to be beneficial to you or not. It's important that you know the reason why he behaved like that toward you. You may have done nothing wrong to him, but he still decided to ghost you, and it happens. I know that you had your doubts when you started dating him, but the only way to move forward and give him another chance for him is to apologize to you. He also needs to work on himself so he doesn't repeat the same mistake twice. I understand that hearing from your man for the first time in days is nerve-wracking, but remember to keep your cool and think carefully about how you're going to respond to him. Possible reasons why he stopped texting you in the first place are: first, at the end of the day, he wasn't serious about you. Everything was perfect when two of you started dating, and you couldn't help but wonder where this relationship was headed. You made it clear that you wanted to have a committed relationship and that you were ready to take it to the next level. But did you ever think about whether or not he felt the same way about you? Perhaps he was into you during the first couple of dates, but not enough to stick around for the long haul. He only wanted to have fun, and the last thing he wished for was to start a romantic relationship with you. I understand that ghosting you because of this is a cruel thing to do, but sometimes guys, sometimes us can be that way. Some men can get scared when you start mentioning your intentions to them. They are afraid of losing their freedom, and their initial reactions is to run away ASAP. It's just that he didn't know how to tell you since he felt bad. Therefore, he took the easy route and ghosted you. The second thing, you were too available. It's in a man's nature to chase the woman he wants. It should never be the other way around. That's why, if you are too available for him, he will easily get bored and pull away from you. It's weird how guys are attracted to those women who behave as if they were unavailable and are to win over. Playing games with guys is completely normal in today's dating world, since you have to have a real strategy if you want to get any man hooked on you. If you are too available, it means that you are waiting by your phone every second of the day for him to contact you, and that will scare him off. It's crucial for you to show him that you have a life besides him. So if a new guy comes along, don't let your entire world evolve around him. Remember that even after a great date, you have to leave him wanting more. 3. You got ahead of yourself. What does it mean? Are you the type of girl who is really enthusiastic and excited every time she gets the chance to meet someone new? Perhaps you suggested to him that he meets your friends even though you just met him a couple of weeks back. Or you are already planning to call your parents and introduce him as your boyfriend. Either way, you shouldn't do that because guys want to take things slowly. That's the number one dating advice when it's come to getting a guy to like you. You should also never talk about future plans on the first date, as it's a huge turn-off for any man. Keep in mind that your man has to take his time to get to know you better. He needs some time and space before realizing whether he really wants to commit to you. If you become pushy or needy at any point in time, he'll slowly back off and he'll stop texting or even talking to you. But if he breaks up with you, then you can use the no contact rule to make him miss you. Alright? 4. He is a manipulator in disgust. What does it mean exactly? Sometimes it's tough to decipher what a man wants from you. There are those who are good and want to find the woman of their dreams, and on the other hand, some guys have low self-esteem, and in order to feel better about themselves, they try to get a girl who will do exactly what they want. Those men are called manipulators, and they quickly turn your life upside down. A guy like this isn't interested in you at all, but he'll keep you by his side until he gets what he wants from you. You may have had a perfect date last night, but the next morning you won't hear from him at all because he's had his way with you and he achieved this. And he achieved his goal and now he's disappearing. I understand that it's tough for you to hear this, but it's often very true. The real reason why your guy stopped texting you could be that his ego was bruised and he needed someone to inflate it. He only used you to make him feel better about himself. He texted you and asked you to meet up with him because he sought validation from you, and once he got it, he ghosted you. That's how it works. 5. Is scared of commitment. Has it happened to you that every time you ask him about the relationship, he suddenly got nervous and quickly changed the subject? If so, the reason why he stopped texting you could be that he is scared of commitment. He dodged any emotional text from you and avoided answering any questions that were related to a romantic relationship. You asked him about his future plans many times, but he always shifted your focus to something else. Believe me when I say that a relationship with a guy like that has no future. You can't change him if he doesn't see that he needs to be better. You will only get more attached and your heart will break into a million pieces. I know that a guy like that may seem very romantic, sweet and fun to be around, but you have to keep your distance if you want to keep your sanity. He will quickly disappear every time sometimes something serious will happen in the relationship, and spending time with you won't be a priority for him. 6. You're always the one who gets in touch first. I know that you are really into this guy, but you have to have the upper hand at all times. If you are the one who always sends the first message and calls him every time something happens to you, then he will back away from you. So, pump up your brakes for a second and think about how to attract him to you again. Think like a guy for once. He will lose interest in you if you are the one doing all the little things that matter. Sometimes you have to play the waiting game for him to realize how valuable you are truly are. 7. You said something that offended him. Keep in mind that a man's mind doesn't work the same way as a woman. Fair up, you said something that offended him and your last date, and now he needs some time to think about this. Some guys will even ghost you because of your zodiac sign, really. It may sound ridiculous, but I've seen it happen before. So don't be too harsh on him if he says that he needs some space for himself. Respect his wishes and he will get back to you. Trust me on this. Once you two spend more time with each other and get to know each other better, you'll know what things he likes and which buttons you should never push. I understand that you are probably quite confused because of his behavior toward you, but that's perfectly fine and it's normal. It's more important that you keep your dignity and sanity in check. Now that you know some of the possible reasons why he ghosted you, we can turn our attention to finding out the reasons why ghosters ever come back. First, he wants to prove to himself that he can have you whenever he wants. You may have never been a firm believer that you can meet the love of your life on Tinder or a social media app, but with this guy you gave it a shot and he ghosted you. Now that he is back, you are wondering the reason behind him reappearing again. Well, it could be that he wants to use you to prove to himself and the rest of the world that he can have you whenever he wants. Perhaps he wanted to show his ex-girlfriend and their mutual friends that he can be with you whenever he chooses. If he's trying to make her jealous, he isn't aware of his mistake. Unfortunately, this has been happening quite a lot in the recent years. Some men aren't mature enough to realize what they feel for you and make the mistake of leaving you. They can't properly express their emotions and they are perfectly okay with just having a casual fling with you from time to time. Also, it could be that your man isn't even aware that he is hurting you by ghosting you and then reappearing again. However, the more you let him come and go from your life, the more he will be sure that you want the same thing as he does. And that's a fling and nothing more. My relationship advice to any woman out there who is stuck in the same scenario is to be honest and direct with her man the first time he reappears and tell him how the situation really is. 3. He's keeping you as his second option. That man ghosted you and he continued with his dating life as if nothing ever happened then after. That man ghosted you and he continued with his dating life as if nothing ever happened. Then, after a certain amount of time, he started messaging you, telling you that he misses you and wants you back. So, you are wondering the real reason behind his messages. Does it really mean that he regrets ghosting you in the first place, or he is keeping you as his second option or backup plan? Even though your emotions are distracting you from seeing the bigger picture here, the answer is obvious. Perhaps your best friend has been pointing out that he's just playing with you, but you failed to see it. Either way, he ghosted you rather than break up with you because he wanted to know that he could come back to you when other girls turn him down. He believes that you are just one phone call away, which is why he hasn't texted you for a few days. 4. He doesn't want you to move on. If you've been wondering whether or not ghosters ever come back, the truth is they do, and it can happen once they see that you moved on. They suddenly reappear in your life again, and that could possibly be the reason why your ghoster finally texted you after 3 days. He didn't want to allow you to move on with your life without him. He is narcissist in disgust and he doesn't wish for you to be happy without him. He will keep reappearing in your life to prevent you from moving on emotionally as well as mentally. Every time he will see that you found someone new, he will immediately reach out and try to make a comeback in your life. I know that it's a bit confusing and tough to understand, but that's just how his mind works and unfortunately you will have to deal with it. 5. He's lonely or he's bored. It can be difficult to accept the fact that there are people out there who are cruel and will use your kindness to their advantage. Those kinds of people only want to hurt others and they don't care whether or not they are doing to break your heart. Truthfully, ghosters can be these types of people and your man may be one of them. Just because you are always nice to him and you treat him with respect, he will see that as a chance to behave in any way he likes toward you. He believes that you will always give him a second chance and that the door to your life will always be open to him, even when he is lonely or bored. However, if you keep repeating the same mistake of letting him go in and out your life as he pleases, then you will simply keep breaking your heart until there is nothing left to break. 6. He misses you. Even though it's hard to believe, there is a possibility that that guy you like misses you, and that's why he finally texted you after 3 days. Perhaps he realized that he made a mistake and wants to make things right this time. Even if your emotions are telling you that you should give him another chance, be careful not to fall into the same trap again. 7. He realized that the grass isn't greener on the other side. There is a chance that your man understands that what he did was wrong. He knows that the way he pulled away from you was unfair, or it could be that you went on a couple of dates and saw that the grass isn't greener on the other side after all. Either way, if you think that he deserves a second chance, then go for it. But in my opinion, some things are unforgivable and should be never tolerated. If he's totally ghosted you, it would be wrong to think that he's into you that much. At that point, if he tries to come back into your life, it's up to you to decide whether he is worth the hassle. On the other hand, life can get busy sometimes, and he might have other business that he had to take care of before fully committing to you. Whatever the case may be, here are some ways you can reply to this man. Either didn't hear from you for a few days, how is it going? He finally texted you after 3 days, but you feel like you are not as into him as you used to be anymore. This is a perfect response if you aren't feeling very invested in him now and you want to keep things casual between you and him. Perhaps he's just a nice guy who needed more time and space to figure out what he wanted, and that's why he reappeared in your life again. But now it seems as if your emotions have faded and you don't know how to break the news to him. With this kind of a message, you are letting him know that you are aware that he ghosted you for a few days, but that you don't really care that much. The second reply is, I'm surprised to hear from you. I thought you ghosted me. The last time he texted you was 3 days ago, and now he's suddenly trying to make a comeback in your life. What can you do? To be honest, if you feel like you can still be in a romantic relationship with this guy and you don't mind him ghosting you, then the best way to respond to him is just by being direct. Don't think long for a way to respond, as you don't want to come off as a bitter or snobby. However, you should definitely make it known that you are aware of the fact that he ghosted you. This will give him an opportunity to apologize to you and to offer an explanation as for why he did so. 3 ways to respond. Don't say anything. He finally texted you after 3 days. Should I even bother answering him? Sometimes guys text you just to see whether you are still into them, even though they don't want to commit to you at all. So if he isn't giving you heads up that he isn't too interested in going on a second date with you, then you should give him a taste of his own medicine by ghosting him. Even though you gave your everything to make it known that you like him, he didn't even bother to respond to your messages or calls. So why you should even bother responding to his text? The best thing you can do is walk away and pretend as if nothing ever happened. The 4th response is, sorry, who is this? If you really want to make a statement and let him know that you no longer see him as a potential partner, then this is the best way to respond. He has to know that you won't let him play his mind games with you and that he can't come back whenever he wants. If he's courageous enough to announce his identity to you again, then it's safe to say that he'll think twice before ghosting you again. That's it for today. That's how you deal when a man came to your life after ghosting you. I hope these tips will help you. Comment down below what you like the most and what you're going to use. I was Jacob Felipe, and also I want to give you a gift. If you want a free gift because you stayed so far in this video, so what you need to do is click down below or just go to my site, which his name is unlockhisdesire.com. And in this site I made a free guide that will teach you how to be more attractive woman. Now it's super important that you know how to text, but after you text and maybe this man come back to your life, do you know how to be an attractive woman naturally using your femininity inside of you or no? Because if you don't know this, your man will pull away from you again. And why pull from you again? Because you don't know how to make him attracted to you. In this guide, I made for you 10 shortcuts to use your femininity to attract this man to your life again. And it will be supernatural, no manipulation, it just will be embedded to your DNA. After you will read this guide, and men will be naturally attracted to you. All you need to do is go to unlockhisdesire.com, put your email address, and I will send this free guide to your mail in few seconds. That's it. Go get your guide, and I will see you in the next video.